If you think you know what happens when you overstay your U.S. visa, think again. Many people believe it's just a small mistake, maybe something you can fix later with a quick trip to the consulate or by marrying a U.S. citizen. Some think the government doesn't really track people once they enter. Others believe they'll just leave quietly when they're ready, and everything will be fine. But here's the truth, especially in 2025, under the Trump administration's renewed immigration enforcement, overstaying your visa can have devastating consequences that can last for years, even decades. In this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. What actually happens the moment your visa expires? The harsh realities the U.S. government won't sugarcoat, the most common myths that could ruin your future, and the steps you can take right now to protect yourself before it's too late. First, let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings. The date on your visa stamp is not the same as the date you're allowed to stay. That visa stamp simply tells you how long you have to enter the U.S. The real countdown begins when you arrive and get your I-94 arrival record. This document, which you can check online, shows the exact date your authorized stay ends. The moment that date passes, you are officially out of status. There is no automatic grace period for most visa types, and no, immigration won't send you a friendly reminder. You just become an immigration violator from that day forward. Now, there's a second term you need to understand: unlawful presence. Being out of status means you've lost your legal permission to be in the country. Unlawful presence is the legal clock that starts ticking once you're out of status in most cases. And this clock is dangerous because it's directly tied to some of the harshest penalties in U.S. immigration law. If you accumulate more than 180 days of unlawful presence and then leave the U.S., you could be banned from re-entering for 3 years. If you hit a full year or more, you could face a 10-year ban. And yes, that's true, even if you left voluntarily, without being deported. One of the most dangerous myths I hear all the time is that you have a grace period of 10 days, 30 days, or even 90 days after your visa expires. This is wrong for almost all tourist and visitor visas. Unless your visa category specifically has a short grace period, like certain work visas or student visas, you do not have extra days to sort things out. Overstaying even a single day starts to build a negative history in the government's records. And here's where 2025 changes the game. Under the Trump administration's stricter immigration rules, visa overstays have become a top enforcement priority. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, has new technology that tracks entry and exit data more precisely than ever. Airport records, DMV databases, and even police departments now have better access to immigration status information. That means the days of flying under the radar are over. Even something as simple as applying for a driver's license or getting pulled over for a minor traffic stop can trigger an immigration check. And if they find you've overstayed, you could be placed in deportation proceedings immediately. Let's talk about those dreaded 3-year and 10-year bars. These aren't just empty threats written on paper. They are real, and thousands of people face them every year. The 3-year bar hits if you overstay for more than 6 months, but less than a year. The 10-year bar slams down if you've overstayed for more than a year. Once these bars are triggered, they apply no matter how or why you overstayed. Medical emergencies, family tragedies, or not knowing your I-94 date won't erase them. The only way around them is to apply for a special waiver, and those are not easy to get. You have to prove extreme hardship to a qualifying U.S. citizen or permanent resident relative, and even then, approval is never guaranteed. Now, let's bust one of the most popular myths out there. that marrying a U.S. citizen will automatically erase your overstay. The reality is more complicated. Yes, marriage to a U.S. citizen can sometimes allow you to adjust your status without leaving the country. But if you've already triggered a 3- or 10-year bar by leaving, you're stuck outside the U.S. unless you get that waiver. And under today's stricter fraud investigations, immigration officers are more aggressive than ever in checking if your marriage is real. If they suspect marriage fraud, you could be banned for life. Some people downplay overstaying as just a minor infraction. That's a dangerous way to think. Overstaying is one of the top triggers for visa denials in the future. It's recorded permanently in the Department of Homeland Security's systems. And this record doesn't just stay in the U.S. Other countries like Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand share immigration data. So your overstay could follow you around the globe, making it harder to get visas anywhere. You might have heard stories of people who've overstayed for years and still manage to live, work, and avoid getting caught. While some people do slip through, it's an incredibly risky gamble, especially now. In 2025, biometric entry-exit systems are in full swing. Your fingerprints and facial scans are logged when you arrive and when you leave. If you don't have a departure record, the system flags you. Government agencies are sharing more data than ever, and your overstay could be discovered at the most unexpected time. Imagine living every day wondering if the next knock at your door is immigration enforcement. And don't think the consequences stop with the U.S. Once you've overstayed, applying for any future U.S. visa becomes much harder. Consular officers see your entire history. Even if you apply for a totally different visa type, your overstay will raise a red flag. This often means longer interviews, demands for extra proof, and, in many cases, outright denial. If you were eligible for ESTA before, that's gone forever. You'll have to apply for a visa every time, and you'll face heavy scrutiny. Here's another consequence people rarely talk about. Overstaying in the U.S. can affect your ability to travel to other countries. Some visa applications for places like Canada and Australia ask if you've ever violated immigration laws in another country. If you say yes, they may reject your application or put you through extra screening. Your overstay can turn into a global travel problem. So, how do you protect yourself? First, always check your I-94 record online as soon as you arrive in the U.S. Never assume the date on your visa stamp is your departure deadline. Second, if you realize you need more time, apply for an extension of stay or change of status before your I-94 expires. Filing on time can sometimes protect you from unlawful presence, even if your application is denied later. Third, keep detailed records, boarding passes, passport stamps, approval notices, so you can prove your travel history if needed. If you're close to overstaying or you already have, don't wait until you're caught. Talk to an immigration attorney right away. They can help you explore options like voluntary departure, waiver applications, or changing to another status. The sooner you act, the better your chances. Waiting until ICE finds you usually means fewer choices and more damage to your record. The bottom line is this: overstaying your U.S. visa is not just about staying a little longer. It's a decision that can close doors for years, ruin future travel plans, and even impact your family's life. In 2025, the Trump administration is serious about enforcing visa rules, and the systems in place are faster, smarter, and tougher than ever. If you value your ability to visit or live in the U.S. in the future, or to travel freely anywhere in the world, respect your visa terms, know your dates, and if you're in trouble, act before it's too late. If this video opened your eyes to the real dangers of a U.S. visa overstay, Share it with friends and family who are planning a trip to America. Many people simply don't know how serious this can be until it's too late. Hit that like button so more travelers see this information. Subscribe for more clear, honest updates on U.S. immigration. And leave your questions in the comments. I read every one, and your question might be the topic of my next video.